We are but 3 to 2 days away from getting the official 2K24 reveal, so let's speculate on some shit. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WWE 2K24. The reveal is happening soon. It's been teased a lot on Twitter by the 2K teams, and we're going to dive into some speculation on what I want out of this game. But before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below on WWE 2K24 and who you think the cover star should be as we dive into this. So, WWE 2K23 I thought was pretty good. Not as good as 22. I think 2K22 is one of the best wrestling games probably of all time. I think that reinvention that they had, taking that break off and coming back with that, I thought was fantastic. I think this was a good step forward with 23 and what I want to see from 2K24. So shall we dive into some of this stuff right now? Should we start with the cover star? Let's start with the cover star. Who should be on the cover of WWE 2K24? I think I said this last year. The obvious choice for me is Cody Rhodes. He's not been on the cover yet. He's probably one of the biggest stars that WWE has at the moment that isn't Roman Reigns. And seemingly, his visuals, his aesthetic just fits a video game cover. Do you not think he could easily fit a beautiful 2K24 cover? If not Cody, which is the obvious choice, I would love to potentially see Rhea Ripley on the cover. I think they could do some really interesting stuff with Rhea Ripley being on the cover. She's obviously very dominant. She has a big fan base. She's really cool and aesthetically, maybe not the whole Judgment Day, but just Rhea Ripley. They could do some really cool imagery with Rhea Ripley. And along the same lines, we'll get into this a little bit more later, I would love for potentially Bray Wyatt to be on the cover if they are doing sort of a tribute to Bray Wyatt in the game, which was rumoured. I think Bray / The Fiend could have a really cool aesthetic and look really cool on the game. It'd be a really fitting tribute for Bray. But Cody Rhodes is definitely the front runner, I think, to be on the cover. Let's talk about other things. Game modes. So they've tweeted a few pictures. They've tweeted a picture of a coffin and a referee. This obviously seems to be leading towards game modes, potentially a casket match and potentially a special guest referee match. I think these are features that are all needed. I'd like if this game was really focused on just bringing back more match types, because that's what I always feel with WWE, particularly the 2K games, is that just the matches are not as varied. A no holds barred match is basically the same as an Extreme Rules match. Like, why do we have two separate things for that? They're near enough identical. So I don't know why they've done that. A casket match, they could do some really interesting mechanics with that. And special guest referee, people have been clamouring for ages for special guest referee to come back, because it was always fun. It was always dynamic, and it always made for good laughs. So I think that's fun. And if they look to reintroduce just new and interesting match types into 2K24, then I'm all for it, because there's so many match types. I think the most underrated match type in general is the Championship Scramble. That is such a cool concept that never got fully developed either on TV in the main product or in the games, because it was in one game. It was in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, and it was awesome and I loved it. Maybe they expand the backstage area a little bit, because that again is feeling a little bit samey, and really add a bit more arcade flavour to it, because I appreciate, I'm a massive fan of the gameplay and the slower pace, because it makes it feel more like a wrestling match. My enjoyment of wrestling games comes from making it feel like a wrestling match. But when you get into the no DQ stuff, adding a bit more variety and a bit more flavour to the match types, that's only going to be appreciated. I love that. I love adding a bit more arcadey nonsense. If you can strike that fine line, then it's all good. It's all good and it's all peachy. So, let's talk about the other thing that I want to talk about, and that is the showcase mode. So the showcase mode usually centres around the cover star. But if Cody Rhodes is going to be the cover star, I don't think there's enough physical, I don't think there's enough that... I think there's not enough that Cody's done, I think, to merit a full showcase mode, which is why I'd really pitch for the showcase mode to hopefully be about Bray and just exploring the faces of Bray and do a documentary style, but with out of kayfabe, because that's what I always felt with the other ones. They were sort of in kayfabe, these documentary sit-down interviews, but really pull back the curtain. Say you do the Bray match versus Cena at Mania, and you've got just a sit-down interview with John Cena talking about Bray, talking about the process of putting the match together. Same with his match against Undertaker. Same with his match against Rollins, maybe at Hell in a Cell. Match with Finn. I think there's a lot of stuff that could be done with a Bray Wyatt showcase, and it'd be really touching tribute in this game. I don't think it's going to happen necessarily, only because he did pass, so I think it was August of last year, and obviously this is coming out fairly soon, so I don't know if they'd been able to put that together, unless it was always the plan to do a Bray Wyatt one. I don't think they'd been able to put that together in time, but I'd love it. I'd love it if there was a special Bray either showcase or a Bray Wyatt mode included in this game, or maybe that's something we'll get in 2K25. But yeah, that is my wrap up of the showcase stuff. The other stuff that I just want to see from the game is just sort of just improvements, because I feel like my GM sort of fell off a little bit for me. I don't find it as interesting as I did in the 2K22 game, and it's just sort of teetering down, so fleshing that out a bit more would be appreciated. I think that the card, I can't even remember what the card mode is called. What on earth is it called? My Faction? Yeah, it's My Faction, isn't it? That is just a repetitive grind that I do not enjoy. Like, I don't see why that's there. I'd love for just more match types. That's all I want. Maybe the ability to do tournaments in my universe. That'd be fun. Maybe introduce a round robin option tournament and just new matches. That's what I feel like this game should be built around. My prediction is that there will be just more matches and more match types, and then you have a solid foundation going forward. Everything else I think is pretty much stellar or just not worth improving. So I think the creation suite is pretty great. It's one of the best creation suites in gaming in general, is the WWE 2K creation suite. And the career mode, I'd just sack off. I think they've all been bad. That'd be my one dream. This is nostalgia talking. Road to WrestleMania. Just bring back Road to WrestleMania rather than My Career, because the My Careers are so weird and just not entertaining that I'd just get rid of them. That's my personal opinion. But overall, I'm excited for WWE 2K24. I'm hoping it takes leaps and bounds and bigger strides than 2K23 took over 22. And I hope we have a really, really exciting wrestling game to talk about again. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. Stay tuned for more 2K24 coverage. I'll be covering the cover when it does come out. So yeah, thank you all ever so much for your support. Are you happy to see 2K24? What do you want to see from the game? Let me know everything you want down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.